Hey guys, it's your boy Brett here, the #1 goat hater. We're bringing you another spicy deck profile on Yu-Gi-Oh! Goat format here. This one's called Hungry Man. I showed it off before. Well, did I? I don't know. I showed off a different build of it or something. But anyways, we're going to show you guys this broken ass build here. Deck's underrated. It's a based goat deck, as they might say there. So anyways, guys, let's get into the video. We're going to discuss this GOAT deck, but before we do, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below, and let me know if you think this deck is dog shit, why GOAT format sucks, why I'm an idiot, whatever else you might want to say down in the comments. Anyways, guys, let's get straight into the deck building here. So we're going to start it off now. So we got 3 Big Shield Gardener, the Yuki special. Everyone knows this card, the classic from the anime, the annoying fucking card. It's immune to no mana cross-out. It's a good stall card. Gets their opponent to waste some resources. Good burn card as well, technically, I guess, kind of thing, right? It's an Earth, doesn't really synergize with the BLS coming up next, but, you know, other than that, it's pretty good. Not too bad for stall and all that shit. And, you know, if they activate Skill Drain, then they'll have a fun time getting over it because the effect the effect of negating spell card when face down still does trigger, so you can't knock it, technically, right? So she's good. You'll be sitting there like an asshole forever until you can figure out a way to get over it with Skill Drain up. And yeah, she's a pretty good card. And next we got BLS, Blockbuster Soldier, and at the beginning, we run the BLS here because, you know, obviously everyone knows what BLS does. Card just wins you the game out of nowhere. We got, and like a mainstay of the deck here, Bistro Butcher, Cyberjar, they're darks technically, and we put in some lights, Thunder Dragons, and the DD Warrior Ladies, as we'll see as we get on with the deck profile. But anyways, next couple cards we got going on here is Breaker Magical Warrior, just a generic good card in GOAT format. You know, put that counter on that bad boy, remove it, pop a card, pop a spell and trap, get that attack boost, whatever you want to go for. Yo, geez, she's also a dark, so he adds to the dark pool in the deck as well, so it's not too bad. Not too bad, boys. Next, we got Cyberjar. Alright, so like this deck is really relies on Cyberjar. Cyberjar is the big thing that makes this deck, puts it all together. See, one nice bow and all that. When you have Cyberjar set, everyone knows what she does. You mill 5 cards and special summon level 4 or lower. Attackers face down defense. Put the rest to your hand. And it works with this deck because obviously we know the objective of this deck is make your opponent draw lots of cards, burn them for it with a Structure Revolution, Secret Barrel, or even, you know, use Heavy Slump to the plus, I guess, technically, or use exchange, depending on what your hand is. Take a good card out of their hand. Cyberjar enables all that, no problem, guys. Him and Buster Butcher. OP. Cyberjar is just crazy, man. I wish he was at more than one, but that's just how she goes. Card's just too good. Card's too insane for these older formats. Next, we got DD Warrior Lady. We need some lights in there. We need some beaters. We need some removal. We need some spot removal. We need a light, like I said. She's just a good card. Basically just the body. Not too bad. Not too bad. Dekoichi I threw in here because I was just looking for cards to put in. Initially, I'm going to build the deck. I might take Dekoichi out. I don't really know. It's okay. It's not bad. It's good bait for putting down before Cyberjar to get rid of their noblemen's crossouts, right? Because apparently that card's glued to everyone's fucking hand when you play. We got Kaiku, the generic 1800 beater. Not a generic beater, but, you know, he does the graveyard effect and shuts down chaos decks while he's on the field technically. He's not too bad. Pretty good card. And we got some spice coming up next, guys. We got Reflect Bounder. Now, I know this card, a lot of people say it's trash, crap, all that. This card's underrated, guys. This card was at 3 and go format. It would be insane. So everyone who doesn't know this card, before its damage calculation, this card is being attacked by an opponent's monster and was face-up attack position at the start of the damage step. Inflict damage to your opponent equal to the attacking monster's attack, and if you do, after damage calc, destroy this card. So say your opponent has a lower level lower attack monster like Dekoichi, they attack into it, they think, okay, he's going to destroy himself by the effect. I'm just going to take 1400. Well, what people don't realize is it says after damage calc. So obviously that means after you know, they battle basically. So therefore they're going to take the damage. It's a good way to stop Lily, actually, technically. Your opponent doesn't. Well, they don't pay for Lily because I believe Lily activates in damage calc as well, or I don't remember. Anyways. It's a good way to stop Lily. They don't activate the effect because most people don't realize what it does, right? Card's actually kind of overpowered, and plus it's just fucking annoying. It's also 1700 and a light, so it's actually pretty good, to tell you the truth. I actually wish this card was at 3 because nobody plays it. I have only seen one other deck that plays this card, and that deck was just some, I don't know, just some guy just trying something out, I guess. I don't know. I've never seen it played, to tell you the truth. I've literally only seen it that one time. Card's underrated. Then we got Sangan, good for searching your jar, your big shields, and as well as your Dekoichi and your Warrior Lady. Really, I put it in here to get Jar out because Jar is an unsearchable one of aside from Sangan. You got your Bistro Butcher, 1800 beater, who lets your opponent draw 2 cards when upon inflicting battle damage. Now, it sounds absolutely horrible, and normally it is. I used to run this card at 3, but I realized just too often you're getting him just too much at 3, and you don't need him all the time. You really just need him if you're going to kill your opponent, if you want to burn them, or you got heavy slump, right? So that's why I run only 2 now. Not too sure if I want to put him back to 3 or not. Then we got 3 Thunder Dragons just to go through the deck a little bit faster. You know, if you got your Charities, your Pot of Greeds is good discard fodder for Charity that you get faster to your jar. And also it puts a light in the graveyard for BLS, make it a little bit faster to get that. And then we got another crucial card for this deck, Cold Wave. Cold Wave's overpowered, man. I'm trying to fit this at 3, but I haven't figured out a way. I don't know. I'm thinking of getting rid of another card down here, but Cold Wave, we all know this. But gets rid of, well, it doesn't get rid of, but stops your opponent from activating or setting spells or traps on their turn, the turn after you activate. So basically, it just gives you a free board state the turn after. And say you set Jar and Cold Wave, a lot of times you just win. Not gonna lie. Exchange, only running 1 of this card because it's a risky card to run with this deck, with the Jar, with the Bistro Butcher. When you can opponent draw a whole bunch of cards and the Heavy Slump as well, it's actually pretty good. You can get a BLS off them, you get a Ring of Destruction off them, go over game, get a Pot of Greed, get a Trinity Piece, or even get something you need like a Knock or a Mind Control or something, or maybe Premature Burial, anything really. Exchange is a crazy card if the circumstances are right. And a lot of times with this deck, with your opponent drawing so many cards, it can be. And a lot of the cards are specific to this deck. Not all of them, but, you know, a good amount of them are. So therefore, it works pretty well. Now, Giant Trunade works extremely well with this deck, too. Because obviously, we want to put more cards in their hand for Restructure Revolution. Do some more burn damage, as well as Secret Barrel and Heavy Slump. And Trunade returns into the hand instead of destroying, unlike Heavy Storm. So I run her at 2. It's also a good way to clear the field to get your Bistro Butcher in for a direct attack, because at the end of the day, you're just trying to deal damage as quickly as possible with this deck. And yeah, just a good card. Graceful Charity, obviously. Heavy Storm, obviously. We all know what that does. Now here's another spicy card. We got Jar Robber. Everyone's surprised. They laugh. They always laugh when they see this card. This card, it's trash, I'll be honest, but it is a +1 though. So if you can resolve, it plays under Decree, plays under Jinzo. +1 is not too bad, boys. If you can resolve her, negate their Pot of Greed, and every deck runs Pot of Greed, right? So why not run this card, get that +1. Now, 2 Mind Control. You might be wondering, why do you run 2 for, Brud? Well, I run 2 Mind Controls in this deck, guys, because I run 2 Mind Controls because you want to hit directly in with your Bistro Butcher, see? So if you're going for gain, you hit him with your Bistro Butcher and then maybe burn him a little bit, or even if you got Heavy Slump. And I don't run Smashing Ground or something like that because Mind Control always can hit face downs as well, so it's a bit more universal in that way, where Smashing Ground doesn't target, which is a good effect, but not so much because only like 1 or 2 cards immune to targeting in this format anyways, right? So Mind Con's mostly active most of the time, good for hitting sets, good for hitting the BLS, good for hitting Chaos Sorcerer, good for hitting Tribe, they got Tribe. So just a good card all around, right? And yeah, it's pretty good for this deck. Like I said, you want to hit in, deal as much damage as possible. MST, just, you know, clear the space and all that. I'm thinking, I don't know, sometimes I want to take this card out. You know, you got 2 Trunade and Heavy Storm, but it can come in handy though. I run 1 Nobleman just in case I don't have 2 Mind Con or my opponent's running a flip heavy deck or whatever, right? Because Nobleman's just a generically good card, so might as well run her. Pot of Greed, obviously. Premature Burial, obviously. Restructure Revolution. This one burns your opponent for 200 life points for every card in their hand. And this card, whole point of the deck, should make your opponent draw as much as possible with your, you know, your Bistro Butcher, your Jar, and all that, and burn them for it. Snatch Tail just broken. Heavy Slump again. This card's good for the Restructure Revolution. If you're ever burn your opponent, you can, or not the with the Bistro Butcher and the Cyber Jar. Your opponent gets 1 million cards in hand, you punish them. I guess it's technically a plus. They don't go to the grave, but yeah, I guess it is technically a plus, right? And then they just draw 2, like a +6 or 7. I'm not sure, whatever it is. Magic Cylinder, because it is technically a burn deck, and, you know, they're attacking, say you only got 1, say you got a Gaia set, and you have Magic Cylinder set. Your opponent has 2 monsters, they attack with 1 into Gaia, okay, he goes to attack, they attack with the other one. You Magic Cylinder, get more damage on them, right? Mirror Force, just a good card for removal. Ring Destruction, broken, you know, just helps you win the game faster with with the burn and all that. Secret Barrel, again, your opponent's got a million cards because you're Butcher, your Cyber Jar. And I have the Judgment in here because, I don't know, why not? YOLO. I'm just kind of testing it out with Judgment. I'm not sure we're going to take her out or not. It's okay. Sometimes you can get into a winnable board state, right? You have your BLS on the field, a couple monsters, whatever else, active Mirror Wars. It can be okay. I'm not sure if I need it in this deck or not, but I used to run that 2, but running that 1 now. Still figuring that out, but... And on to the side deck, guys. We got the Berserk Gorilla. We're going second Cannon Soldier. We all know what that's for. For the Burns, him for the Warriors. I run the Panda for certain decks like Warriors. Maybe they have a lot of monsters on one time, or goat, or decks that use goat tokens. Panda's good for that. Get that 2800 if it can be a direct attack in. Karibo for Reasoning Gate and stuff like that. Kaiku for what do you call it? Chaos, and just for another generic beater for if they have a way to get rid of my big shields, I'll just put him in. Mystic Swords on level 2 for flip heavies, and Tribe for Warriors, Chaos. Just a good card, right? I don't like main decking it, but it depends on the deck. Like Burn, you don't really use Tribe for, right? Zaborg, it's good for Warriors, good for Chaos, good for Goat Control. BrainCon, just another good card. Works with your Zaborg if you're putting him in. Now, I'd put Delinquent Duo on the side because you put Delinquent Duo for this deck isn't as good because obviously you make your opponent draw a lot of cards. So depending on the deck, I'll put Delinquent Duo in. If it's a card that doesn't benefit from the graveyard, like say maybe just generic Warriors, no Chaos Warriors or something like that, just make them discard. Get that plus and all that. Mystic Walk for the other burn strategies. The Royal Decrees for if you want to set out your trap cards and throw in their burn strategy. Threatening Roar just in case of Reasoning Gate and things like that, like no DKU. And then we have the whole extra Goat side deck here. We run this because Exchange can technically get you a Metamorphosis. So, I've had that situation before where I could use Metamorphosis, but I didn't have the extra deck. So I said, well, I got to throw her in, right? And that's the deck, guys. So if you like it, leave a comment down below. Hit the like button. Let me know. And, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Brud, sign out.